Hi guys, can you see me? Let's see. Okay. Hi. I think this should be working. Can you guys see me? Okay. Let's see. We're going to talk about improvising today while people start to get notified and start to watch. I'll just improvise a little bit and we'll take it from there. We'll go over some tips and tricks. If you stick around through the end of this video, we'll do a Q&A. You can ask whatever questions you want, and there is a special offer, so stick around. All right. Let's see. I'll stop it for a second. All right. Oh no, can you guys hear me? Let's see. All right, sorry, there's been a little bit of technical difficulties, but hopefully you can hear me. Let's see. So if you couldn't hear me, remember, we're gonna talk, oh, awesome. Thanks, John. Thanks, Jeffrey. Injuriers? I hope I said your name right. All right, hi guys. So today we're gonna talk, oh, awesome, it's working. So I hope you could hear me play and that you know what this lesson is about. So we're gonna talk about improvising on the guitar. I might be really close to the camera, so let's see. Awesome. So we're gonna talk about improvising. Improvising is one of my favorite things to do on the guitar. Because you get to really have your own voice and express yourself, and it's just fun. The biggest thing is don't limit yourself. So it's great to know scales and it's great to know your theory, but don't be bound by it to the point where you're not being creative and you're not having fun. I'm all about guitar is supposed to be fun. So if you're not enjoying it, like, why are you doing it? It's not a competition, it's not a sport, you're expressing yourself. So there's certain tricks and tips, though, that you can do to be better at some of these things. Couldn't see the frets above. I know, I'm sorry. It's really hard to get my face and the guitar in here. I don't have fret markers, so I'm sure that makes it a little difficult. But I'll let you guys know where I'm at and what I'm doing. So today I'm thinking in the key of the A minor. I just like A minor, and my backing track's in A minor. But it is actually a flat minor because I'm tuned down a half step. So what I think about when I'm improvising is I try to actually really listen to the track and what the track is doing. So if it's a broken up rhythm, I might want to milk that moment and do a really big bend or something like that, or a showy lick or something. But I try to listen to what the track is doing. I also connect different scale shapes and think about the guitar in intervals. So I'm not always strictly thinking scales. Let's see, you guys still good? All right, so, okay. I think, okay. So I'm not strictly thinking in scales, right? I'm thinking in intervals, I'm thinking in what I want to say on the guitar, and a lot of times the guitar kind of matches up to where, let's see, I'll try and make it a better view for you guys. There, maybe that's better. So let's see. So let's see, no problems, good. Okay, so the guitar a lot of times seems to match up like this. So if you have a whole step to a half step, if you think like you're going to replace the next finger with the one that was before it and copy it, so I'll have a half step to a whole step, and then replace whole step to a whole step. That's a way to connect your patterns if you don't totally know every single one and where to go. You can actually move up the guitar like that, right? It's kind of easy. And then you're actually in that pattern. That's pretty cool. So that's one way to move up. So let's practice that actually. That's helpful. So on the first string, I'm going, so grab your guitars. So on the first string, and bear with me if you're in standard, I'm going 5, 7, 8. So a whole step to a half step. So on the guitar, a whole step is 2 frets apart, right? There's an empty fret in the middle. And a half step is right next to each other. It sounds like Jaws. Right? So whole, half. And I'm a big fan of always using the fingers that line up. So if see how I kind of have a finger per fret? This shape calls for a whole step to a half step, so I use the fingers that are right over the frets that I need. So 5, 7, 8. Now replace the finger, your next finger, and go 7, 8, 10, replace, 8, 10, 12, replace, 10, 12, 13, and then 12, 13, 15. And that brings you to pattern 2. Also, in any kind of lead guitar playing, are the techniques that you choose to use. So I love vibrato. I'm a big fan of vibrato. I think it's really important to work on your vibrato because I think it separates you from other players. Having good vibrato is what you need to do. It is Jaws, right? And then a major second is Happy Birthday. Sorry, that is kind of nerdy, but it will help you. So thinking in intervals, and this goes not just for looking at scales like linear, right? But also if you're doing a lick, like I mentioned, going a whole step above. So I just did that by thinking logically. So moving out of position like that, it just makes it more interesting. So that's the scale, the A minor scale, right? Looks like this. So you can apply that trick to every single string, right? Here we go half to whole. So I went down a whole step. So, and you can do it more interesting than just playing a scale. So what I did was I picked, hammer on pull off, and then I slid down. All right, let's hear it with the track a little bit. I think the chat is delayed, so feel free to keep chatting. I'll go back if we need to. So let me play that track for you. that we talked about just a little bit. So I did it in 2 different positions. I did it when I was here, and I also did it here. Oops. And just different patterns that you like too. So I really like speed picking, so I do tend to do that a lot. So connecting the scale shapes, going up string by string, and mixing up techniques. I think that helps a ton. Okay. How did you choose that guitar? Thank you, Frank. I chose. This is actually my custom guitar. I love this guitar. I've been playing for Monarch guitars for a really long time now, and I love them. Monarch asked me if I wanted a custom a few years ago, and I did. Of course, I'm not crazy, but I got to design the body and, well, not the shape, but I got to design the pattern, and I wanted something that was different and not too overcomplicated. I always think Van Halen print is like the coolest invention ever because you know it's his from a mile away and it's fairly simple and it's really cool. So it's actually a real piece of lace. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a real piece of lace. Oops, sorry. On the guitar and with a clear coat over it. So, all right. So mixing techniques. I'm all about hearing things that you like from other people and using it as inspiration. So if you were here earlier this week when I did one of these on Tuesday and we talked about finding your own voice, that really ties in to this. So you don't want to sound like just everybody else because that person exists. So it's totally cool to take inspiration though. I love Zakk Wylde's vibrato. I love Paul Gilbert's speed picking. I love, the really huge, ridiculous bends in Led Zeppelin sometimes, or blues, anything you want. I think everybody has their own variation of the, oops, sorry, I should have my volume on. Right? I tend to go, and I got that from it kind of reminds me of Van Halen, like even David Lee Roth with Jason Becker, just like that time period. I like to do those a lot. And I like the little pentatonic Zakk Wylde things. I like any bends. I think vibrato is a really big thing. Okay. All right. Cool. So I hope you guys are following along. Again, I'm in the key of A minor, and we're just talking about improvising. One of the best things you can do is jam tracks. That is one of the best things, hands down, that I did. I used to spend, honestly, hours just jamming and practicing, and that gave me the opportunity to retry things and do different licks. So listening to the background, trying different things, and really having no boundaries while you're trying. And don't be scared to mess up. It's totally fine, because sometimes you might create the coolest sound just by doing that. So let's play a little bit more. And remember, there's going to be a Q&A in just a little bit. So feel free to ask questions and stick around for that special offer. And remember, check out our whole YouTube channel. We have tons of lesson videos from myself and other instructors on tons of different things. Speed picking technique, tips, and just song lessons, anything you want. Okay. recommend too. Let's see. Some things that I would recommend doing that I really like that are kind of tricks that I love are I really love tap slides. And I love tapping in general. And different phrases that you're going to do, or embellishing phrases that you already do. You know, even just doing that, like how much more attitude and feel did that add instead of... All I did was a little bend with a pinch harmonic. But I think the biggest tip is seeing scales in different ways. So really going... Seeing in intervals, using those whole steps to half steps, tricks that I was talking about. And also, let's see, how do I say it? Thinking about the guitar in terms of, so I showed you that way, but also moving in intervals within octaves. So if I play this, on the 6th string, I went 5, 7, 8. I did the same thing right under. This is an octave, right? 8 notes apart, so the same note with a different voicing. If I go here, I should be able to do the same thing, right? So that's another way to move all over the guitar without even going or thinking in scale, 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 right? So I'm going... And then changing it up, being like, okay, what would that sound like if I string skip? So moving on the guitar like that, and you can go one octave further, right? So remember, because of the way the guitar is tuned, that's why I had to jump differently this time. So I'll go over all the frets and strings that I'm using. So 6th string, 5, 7, 8, 5th string, 5, 7, 8. Then I'm going to jump over here to the octave on the 4th string, 7, 9, 10. Same thing right under. Then I'm going to jump over to the octave on the 10th fret, 2nd string, 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13. And then sliding right into your shape. So I'm really connecting 4 and 2. So I'm going... And... Sorry. One thing I noticed Jeff Loomis doing too that I thought was so cool, that I was doing a lot for a while, is how he goes here and then he'll reach that whole step with his pinky. He'll go like... And you can kind of get a bunch of extra notes that way. That was one tip that I noticed that I really like. So just taking things that you see and making them your own. And again, going over and over with these tracks, seeing these scales in different ways. Hopefully that opened your eyes to see things differently. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, of course, no problem. Thank you. So these will be up later. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to mess around again now with that pinky trick and the trick I just showed you. This track has this crazy thing in it. Let's see if I get to the part with it. So it switches between and, so let's see. Let's see if this thing in it where it's like something crazy. But we're going to fast forward to that part, so we'll just stay in one key. So this was one of those broken up rhythms. Cool. All right, so go ahead and ask questions. Oh, thank you very much. I haven't listened to Vito, but I do like Nuno Betancourt. I really liked the Generation Axe show. If anybody went to that, that was crazy. Everybody was ridiculous. Okay, so we are going to open up a Q&A, but just a quick recap. Have fun. Like, that's seriously what it's all about. So have a great time playing and try to express that in your playing. So make your guitar sing. I talked about this earlier this week too. Try and imitate other instruments or get inspiration from other things. Be creative. Think outside the box. Don't worry if you mess up because it can lead to something awesome. So you do want theory knowledge and you want all of these things, but you do also want to, what sounds good is good. Like, we have all these guitar heroes that are just ridiculous, but we also have guitar heroes that didn't even want to be guitar heroes, like Kurt Cobain or people like that were just good at writing. So good is good. All right, I'm an acoustic player. Should I get started to learn lead guitar? I would say jam tracks. So if you want to get started, basic solos too. There's a lot of really cool exercises that maybe we should even do another stream on, which is where you limit yourself, or you do a call and response almost, where you say, okay, let's take the pentatonic scale. So start with pentatonic. That'll be a lot easier. So the pentatonic scale just excludes some of the notes that the minor scale includes. So it's just like this. So, and guys, really quick, before we get into that, thank you for sticking around. So we are going to do Q&A, but just for those of you who have to leave and stuck around, there is an exclusive offer for all of you that followed today. So thank you so much for sticking around. There will be a link in this chat that will be a special discount code for Guitar Control Killer Guitar Secrets, all about playing from the heart. So you see tips and tricks in magazines all the time, but no one really talks about how to play like you or how to play from your heart. And that's what we're all about. So we're going to go over 3 basic, huge things. So first, technique, then your fretboard knowledge, and then hand and brain connection. So connecting both of these things together. So technique is obviously the speed picking, the trills, the vibrato, all these different things you can pull from your arsenal and add into your playing that add a lot of personality and separate you from things. And then your fretboard knowledge is your scales, your chords, how to play these together, your patterns, and then connecting those two with your hand-brain connection. So go ahead and check out those Killer Guitar Control Secrets and click that link below to get your copy at a discounted rate. All right, so now let's answer these questions. So basically what I was saying was take the pentatonic scale, but strip it down and don't think of it as this huge, big scale because it's a lot when you're very first starting. So just limit it to 2 strings or even 1 string and see what you can write like that. So that's only 2 notes. But I did a bunch of different things to make those 2 notes stand out. So, that's actually, even for you players that have been playing a long time, it's kind of cool how challenging that can be. Because what we're doing is we're limiting everything. So you have to go into your vocabulary and really, your techniques, and see what you can do. You can, just 2 notes. You can. So those are all techniques, but also different rhythms. and then adding in a string. And then adding another. So slowly adding and adding and adding. And if you have a friend that will play with you, call and response is really cool. Having them play something and you have to imitate it, or you responding your own lick and phrase to it. All right. So I think someone asked what kind of strings do I use. I'm using GHS. I use Dunlop and GHS. Oops, that was my order. I do like Nuno Betancourt. And there's the link. From Brazil. Hi! That's awesome. How did you choose the guitar? Right now I am just using Axe-Fx. It's just a stock patch. Dizzy VH4, channel 3, preset 55. I'm using Axe-Fx 2 with a Matrix preamp out of a Mesa Boogie Road King cab. Spectraflex cable. Fatso Flex, those are really cool. And an art guitar. Of course, thank you, Tim. Yeah, look at the guitar in different ways. That was the point I want to get across today, because I can tell you how to play a million licks or play, everything that I just played, but it's more about thinking outside the box and connecting things in your own way. So seeing them in octaves, seeing them as the shapes that they are, and seeing them up and down each string. The link is in the chat. So it should say Guitar Control, Ultimate Guitar Control Secrets Collection, and it's a Google link. Click this specific one if you want the discount. Can't read the Brazil comments, but it's awesome that you're from Brazil. And for me for 9, it just got posted again. It's right under your, okay, awesome, you got it. Great. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, check out all of our other videos. We're going to be doing this more regularly, so I will see you next week. Think outside the box. Comment, let us know what you came up with or what different techniques that you blended. See what you guys come up with and can inspire each other even just in the comments. And remember, there's tons of other videos on the channel. Subscribe. Also subscribe for our notifications, and you'll get a notification when we have a new video up or a new live stream. Tons of lesson videos, tons of exercises, tons of technique videos. So check them out. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.